grab me. Big old spoons.
Live from Canada, it's the SSN podcast with your host, Larcher, Colin, Michael, and Liberty.
Okay.
All right, let's try that, guys. There we go. Hold on. It didn't happen. Live from Canada, it's the SSN podcast with your host, Larcher, Colin, Michael, and Liberty. Bow! Hello, everybody! And welcome back to the Select Start Network. I am one of your hosts, Just Larcher, and with me today, for the time being, we may or may not have an additional member or something. I don't know. I might already kick this motherfucker out. I don't even know yet. If I can't show up to day one on time. Yeah, we've got an intro. Yes. So I'm one of your hosts, Justin Larcher. With me, as always, my left. It is your left still. Bottom left, we have Liberty Randall Roundtree.
No, that's not my middle name. We've been over this.
We have. I want to make sure I got this right. Burnsby 8-bit himself, Colin C. Burns. Am I right? Is it Burnsy?
It was Burnsy 8B. Yeah.
I don't know where the second B came in.
I don't know where that other B came from.
Burnsby himself, 8-bit, and Liberty Randall Savage Roundtree.
That's me, Randall Savage. Is that like a DC character or something? Am I crazy? Who's Randall Savage?
You mean
That's
Randy?
a person.
Yes, so Randall Savage is a DC character. He's an immortal.
Oh, I'm glad I know that. I'm still a dork, boys. We got it.
Or am I lying? That's the real question.
Randall Savage was a wrestler in the 80s who
See, look,
That's who I was
knew that would piss off. Okay, so
Macho
chat,
Man.
just so you understand.
Fucking bones on the ground.
Talk about here. All right. First and foremost, this is the soft launch of the SSN podcast, along with a lot of other things. Very special one is if you get exclamation point Patreon, we are going live with a Patreon account where if you want to support us at literally a couple of bucks a month, that's totally appreciated. You don't have to, but we do have tiers with upgrades and perks all the way up to the point where we will have exclusive Let's Plays, added shows which will meet our Patreon goals, which we will add in very shortly. It's going to be a hell of a good time. As when it comes to if you're subbing right now on the screen, I greatly appreciate it. Just as a heads up, we will not be reading out the subs while we're podcasting. It'd be too much of an interruption while we're doing that. Other than that, this episode of the SSN podcast is brought to you by us and our Patreon account. So, like I said, go on to exclamation point Patreon, or you can go to patreon.com/SelectStarNetwork, and you too can go ahead and enjoy the plentiful, bountiful things we will have added for you at the Patreon. I think it's $7 or $8 mark. I can't remember right now off the top of my head. You go check it out. But you can just become an official supporter just by giving a couple bucks, $1.50 if you can. And if not, go ahead and you can just like, subscribe, share your socials with us, and we will make some magic happen, baby. Now, none of that's done. Like I said, we're going to talk about some stuff. And one of the things we right away I want to call out. So on the intro, you may have seen in all of our faces, one of them, Michael, unfortunately, is not here with us at the moment. He may come a little bit later down. If not, it's because he stepped on a Lego and he died. It's unfortunate. May he rot in peace. that motherfucker.
It happens.
Yep.
Let him die.
But one of the things that right away, you also may have noticed a slight change in one of our appearances from the intro. Fucking Liberty takes a goddamn picture, right? Takes a fucking picture. Like last week, he sends it to me and it's like, all right, that's a little bit dark. We can fix it. It's no problem. Sure. There is no amount of fixing or sharpening of an image that can explain what the fuck happened in your hair, Liberty.
Oh God, peroxide happened to my hair. As you all know from college, I like to just dye my entire head of hair randomly. Sometimes it's like a fun thing for me. So over Thursday, it was Thursday. I had Thursday off from work, so I dyed my hair, and then on Friday I was working, and I think one of you guys sent me a message about the podcast, and I was like, "Oh yes, I just sent in my headshots with brown hair, and I'm showing up with blonde hair, so things will be going."
Liberty being the Ramona Flowers of SSN.
That is true, without a doubt. Still haven't found. Well, no, I have my Scott Pilgrim, but she would never want me to call her that. So,
I mean, also, do you want her to fight your evil exes? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Kinda. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe not actually.
Yeah.
I shaved my face before he took those pictures. Like I had a mustache, chin thing going. I was growing all that out, and I was like, I'm probably gonna have it shaved off before I start. So I even shaved it early, so I wouldn't be different from the thing. And you go and fucking do this.
Go and dye my hair.
Come on.
Also, I have to ask, Lib, are you going through like your teenage angst years? Because you get yourself a little piercing on your nose. What's going on? You trying to be a bad boy now?
I've had this for a while though. I don't think we've done a lot of like video stuff, but I've had this for like a couple of months now.
The last time we saw each other in person was the day that my wife almost died. Yeah. So thanks for that, Lib.
Wait a minute.
What? I'm sorry, you just skipped a couple chapters there. What?
So when a little over a year and like a few days, we were going over to Lib's house to pick up the streaming rig.
Oh, okay.
And Tracy was pregnant at the time, and on the way back, she's like, I'm feeling really well. Everything seems to be working out. And then as soon as we got home, she's like, I need to go to the hospital. And it's because she had preeclampsia help, which we didn't know at the time. And the doctor's like, if you would have come like a day or two later, she's like, there's a good chance you would not be alive right now. And we're like, oh, cool, I guess. Thanks for that. And it was also at the start of the pandemic, so like everyone was like full like isolation gear, and they're like, when was the last time you fucking talked to somebody? Like it literally felt like it was like Half-Life 2, and the combines are like, pick that up, drop that. Where do you think you're going? Like it's what it felt like the entire time, and we're just like, we met one person today. Who was it? Like, tell me their name. Like, Jesus Christ, like, were they coughing? Were they fucking coughing? It's like, no, dude, no, we're good, bro. And like, we went through all of that, and then obviously a few days later, she pooped out her baby.
She pooped out the baby.
You have such a way of telling stories where you take the most things that could be a wonderful moment and you just crush them down to
dude, we got some shit to talk about, man. We got to run through some stuff, brother.
Pooped out a baby. That's
pooped it right out.
Not
I mean, look,
birth.
and it's just not an insult to my wife or anything. She will even admit it, that baby, literally, they're like, and this is not being gross. We were at the like.
It's gonna be gross.
No, it wasn't. I'm not gonna go into. You want me to go into details? I will fucking
no.
details. What ended up happening was like in the middle of the night, they started. They're like, we have to. I can't remember what the right term is, but we have to prep for the baby to come out today. We believe if the baby stays any longer, you'll be at a higher health risk for yourself and the baby. So we're gonna go ahead and try to set up the delivery for the baby now. And later during the night, out of the blue, nurse comes by, checks on Tracy, make sure she's good. And then kind of just checks. She's like, oh, the baby's coming. And we're like, what? Yeah, we already know that. She's like, no, the baby's coming now. We're like, oh, okay. Incubating labor, or inducing labor, that's what it is. Incubating. We're gonna put you in an incubator. We're gonna make it really hot for the baby to come out. Anyways, they're like, that baby's coming now. We're like, oh shit. So like they're scrambling trying to get the doctors to meet him in the in the operation room, like the delivery room, and they're like, we don't have time. The baby's already crowning. Tracy's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Literally, the birthing room to our room that we had was like maybe 20 feet away. Between that time of going from A to B, the baby literally, Felix already came out. Like, he was already like, she's like, we gotta go. So the nurse is like huddled in. She's like, all right, Tracy, give a push. I don't even have to push. Here's the baby. And he just came right out. The doctor didn't even come into the room yet. And he's just like, so let's get ready to deliver this baby. He's putting his gloves on, all professional, all chill and calm. And the nurse is like, it already happened.
Baby's here, bro.
Yeah. And he's like, wait, what? The guy's like, what? And she's like, yeah, the baby already showed up, brah. Like, where were you, doc? Like, what the fuck? Like, giving him such attitude. And he's like, well, preeclampsia, let's just make sure that there's nothing left of the placenta in there. And Tracy will say this. He does this with his hand and just ice cream scoops the inside of my wife. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I don't think that's how you're supposed to do that, doc. Like,
I gotta get that shit up somehow, though. Like,
it was that moment, right? Of like, hey, doctor, I'm gonna punch you. Like, what the fuck? This is not how you please a woman. Like, get out of the way. I'll show you how. Like,
did he at least like? Did he like run his hand under warm water?
No, he went in dry. He just went like, "Fuck it, let's go." Yeah, fucking Operation Baskin Robbins going in for those triple scoops. Too early for
this much medical talk. Can't do it.
If you thought you weren't gonna come onto this podcast and no one was gonna say placenta, that's on you. That's
that's true. That's true. I probably should have expected this.
Or use the term ice cream scoop or Operation Baskin Robbins while I hands up my wife's vagina. Yeah, welcome to the SSN podcast.
God damn.
God damn.
It's more about Tracy than I ever thought I would know. Okay.
Yeah, try looking at her next time. We're dead in the eyes. She'll look at you. You'll see it's just doll's eyes. She's dead inside.
Well, Tracy gets to go through all that shit, and then you just get to stand on the side and say, I helped.
Yeah, I just be like, baby, this is content. Shut up. Don't worry about it. This will be in a podcast one day.
Just vlogging. What is up, guys?
It's your boy, Justin. That's up here in the operation room. Oh, that's my wife. Don't worry about it. She almost died giving birth. But, dude, look how white this room is, dog. Yeah.
Everyone use code childbirth to get 20% off at the V-Bucks or something. I don't know.
But actually, funny enough, if you go to patreon.com/SelectStarNetwork, you can actually get a 10% discount if you sign up to, I believe, is the 3rd tier. Or if you go higher, there's a 20% tier one, and you also get some extra perks. Fucking easy, dunk! Thank you.
That was the most unnatural plug I've ever seen.
I've seen Raid Shadow Legends one that felt more natural than that.
I mean, do you expect anything differently than us right now than what we're doing?
Yeah, I've experienced like the ads in the middle of YouTube videos that have been more natural transition.
Dude, speaking of which, there's this new one, and I think it's AFK Arena. Okay, I think that's the one. And I don't know why, but one of their advertising ploys, it's just like, oh, sign up for AFK Arena and get these big titty dancing wallpaper ladies on your screen. And I'm just sitting, I'm like, that can't work. Like, there's no way.
I know exactly what you're talking about because it makes me so uncomfortable when I'm trying to watch like a fucking Apex Legends video, and then it's like, do you want hot anime girls? And I'm like,
yes, but not right now.
I don't know if I can answer honestly right now.
Right now, I'm trying to get this chicken dinner. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Am I the only one here who has ad blocker on for YouTube?
Because you don't support creators, Colin.
Oh, jeez.
They start putting those big titty ads in the middle of YouTube, in the middle of fucking hour video, maybe. Fuck.
To be fair, I don't know. I've just never looked into getting an ad blocker. I'm just a capitalist normie who just accepts the amount of ads that are being thrown into my face all the time.
All right. One thing I will address right now in chat: the Patreon page right now is under review. Patreon just has to make sure it's cleared to make sure we're not providing anything inappropriate. So it will be up. You just got to give it some time for it to get approved. But my God, it looks good. That's all I'm going to say. So just for people who are wondering, because I know a couple people in chat were talking about that. But yeah, it's it's one of those moments where I'm like, do I talk about hentai that much at home that these fucking advertisers are just like, oh, this is what this fat fuck wants. Yeah, let's give it to him. Just let him dive into it. Or is it that I'm surrounded by people, okay, who talk about hentai and big anime titty people so much that's what the algorithm, when they fucking hear this shit, they're like, oh, this is what they like, and they just kind of slowly seep it in me, and I'm like, I don't know if I want this talk. And then he just goes Operation Baskin Robbins, and then
I feel like
you spend so much time on Twitch, they figure the Venn diagram of people
right?
who watch a lot of Twitch.
Yeah,
you watch hentai. It's almost a circle.
Yeah,
there's gonna be some crossover at least. I think it's just like guerrilla marketing. They spend $1 billion on ads, so it's gonna hit 90% of the masses, right?
Yeah.
And then I mean, like those like mobile games have endless resources for marketing, I guess, because constantly Raid Shadow Legends and that one are constantly like the only ads I really see, and then like Toyota sometimes. Like I don't know, like. I think it's literally just like an overflow of marketing, but
probably could be.
I don't know. I don't understand internet marketing as much as maybe I should, or maybe I shouldn't. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't do marketing.
You did look. Tammy taught us well, Lib. Don't you remember Grease Lightning?
Oh God.
Who?
You don't remember Grease Lightning? Oh, Liberty.
Oh,
yeah, I don't remember anything from college. What was Grease Lightning?
That was our fucking thing we did for Tammy's class for marketing, where we all got up and acted like greasers.
Oh, yeah.
We were selling our fucking pomade shit.
Yeah, the comb that just automatically loaded pomade into it.
Worst idea ever.
And it was the most dangerous thing ever because it was a comb with a fucking like heating battery in it. And grease.
Yeah, so for those who obviously don't know, because you weren't around for that, Grease Lightning was this idea that we had to do for our marketing class, where we had to find a product, advertise it, talk about the pros and cons, the demographic for it, and all that jazz. And we kind of came up with the idea. I think we all kind of collectively got the idea of like, maybe like a pomade or like a comb thing. And we kind of took it to the next level. And I was like, what if we just go really dumb with it? And I was like, let's just like, we're greasers talking about this product. Like, we'd be like, oh, yo, what you gotta do is just put it out, whip it in the hand, boom, you look amazing. Like, just straight up the most garbage accents you could think about, the whole 9 yards. And like, my idea was like, if we just throw so much shit at them like that, they're not going to pay attention then that maybe we don't have all the necessary details that we have to sell for them.
Well, we did all like the math and shit. Like we did what the assignment asked us to, but then we were just bored. So we threw so much more on top of it. And like level. It was like an impossible prototype, and we brought in like a comb with like a battery taped to it or some shit.
I remember what it was. Is we took like a dollar store comb, and I think we just took like a fucking Dasani or like dollar store water bottle, and like just shoved it on like into it, like this is our prototype. Oh my god!
But I mean, it's like we didn't have to do the prototype or anything like that. No. It was just design a product that would have a demographic. Mm-hmm. But us being us are the most extra people in the fucking world.
And like that's
so we dressed up like racers. And
I think that was the moment too where I realized, like, man. Like this chemistry that we got going, like we got to take this to the next level.
Yeah, that was early on too.
It really was, yeah. Because that would have been maybe second semester, first semester of the first year.
I think it was second semester.
Second semester, okay.
When did we start the original podcast?
I can actually not. Give me a second. I will let you know.
Yeah.
And that's actually.
We did the first podcast, and it was like filmed on my DSLR, which had like a recording limit.
Yes.
So really, after like 20 something minutes, we would have to cut and then restart again.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, it's so crazy.
That was a dark day.
Just thinking about like going from that and the shit show that it was to like where we ended up using all like the TV equipment.
Yeah.
You know, recording through like it's absolutely crazy. Like. I mean, shout out to Fanshot too for letting us use all that stuff. I mean, we were like the only people who would go into the TV studio to use it. But...
Literally, Greg Latham would literally told me, is like we've never had, especially this year, we've never had as many students coming in to the set and actually reserving all the equipment and doing all of these things. And I just told him, like, I'll be honest, like, this is just something that I've always wanted to do, and I just found like the right people to do it with for this level of it. Because I've done other really fucking weird podcasts, like worse. If you okay, so officially, the very first SSN podcast was November 18th, 2015. Technically, that's the one I did with Michael. I was there for that one. That was before, that was before you guys. The one after that, which was Detox December, was episode 1 of the SSN podcast. It was 35 minutes long. Was December 6th, 2017. That was our very first one.
So that would have been end of first semester, I think. That would have been before Christmas break. Yeah. And we were all on strike.
Yeah.
I don't know if the strike was done by then.
The strike was done by then. Yeah, because that was beforehand.
Yeah, but yeah, so it was literally right before second semester. So we basically had a whole semester of us being like stupid friends and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we had was that the standing up one? I remember there was the one where we stood up by the desk. Yeah.
So that didn't last long because I'm looking at it right now. So there by episode 2, which was the one that Colin, and we had Colin, myself, and Nuno. You weren't there for that one, Lib. And Nuno just wouldn't stop fucking dabbing the entire time.
Oh God!
Yeah, you remember dabbing? Michael, you gotta let me know when you're coming in, bro. This
doesn't look
ruin the setup, you asshole.
Oh,
there it is.
There we go.
Damn it! You're lucky I'm quick on my fucking fingers.
Yeah, trust. It's all about trust.
God, but yeah, I remember. Speaking of the very first SSN podcast. And we're not gonna reminisce too long, but this is one thing I want to mention. This is back also when I tried to like mimic Funhouse's pictures, their thumbnails. So the picture of it itself is me and Michael, black and white, cut out, so magic wanding around with our background, which is being blue with the SSN logo, and that's it. That was like the basics of like a fucking Funhouse logo, which was like very bare at that time, very bare minimal. Just cut them out, make them have funny faces, and we go on from there. And that's how it was. And I don't even remember what the fuck we talked about that one. Apparently we talked about Halo 5, Battlefront, and yeah.
Oh so I guess that makes sense.
It would have been the first Battlefront and Halo 5. Yeah. God damn.
Gosh, that was a long time ago.
So that's what was going on in 2015, right? Halo 5.
God,
Jesus.
Man. But anyways, enough reminiscing about the past. We need to reminisce about the future. That doesn't make any sense, but we're gonna.
That's not how that word works.
Yeah.
But
okay, so I know a lot of you guys. We've. I'm looking at the list. We got a couple of things in here. And one of the ones I want to talk about real quick, before the podcast started today, specifically, because I had what I could only describe as one of the biggest anxiety attacks I think I've had in a long time, where I got up late, my alarm didn't wake me up, and I was like, shit, I got an appointment today for my optometrist. I go in there. It took over an hour to get that shit done. My eyes were dilated. I'm trying to like hurry up, get home. I get home. I got a couple messages from Lib being like, hey, can we, like, what are you doing right now? I message back, but then I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to set up because, like, in case we have to do a 3-man podcast. I try to get all that shit set up, which I'm very happy I got that done. I'm panicking. Like, I need people in the chat right now. Let's go. Like, I don't care who you are. Just jump into the Gen Pop. Fucking talk. I got Andrew to come. He's like, oh, hey, guys, how's it going? I'm just here for a temper. I'm like, no, get the fuck out. I'm not here to chit chat. Like, I need to get shit done now. And like I literally, I think it was Steph who disconnected him because I'm like, if you're not gonna stay and help, like I'm sorry, I don't need you right now. And I realized it's this moment of like, under pressure. How do you like? What do you guys end up by doing to like? How do you react and how do you try to resolve that kind of anxiety or like that like moment of panic? Because for me, the only way it was simply just like I had to tell everyone to just like, you need to shut up. I'm going to work. I'm going to get it done. And then the moment where I realized I was on a good pace, I stopped. I was able to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just kind of curious. What about you guys? What do you guys do to help relieve that anxiety?
For me, I like synth music kicks in my head and I just fucking I just go. I just do whatever I need to do, and I power through, and I don't think, and my brain fires off. And then as soon as I'm done, I like just shut down. I'm like, okay, I've done what I need to do, and it's like this big wash over whatever. But usually it's like a lot of buildup of anxiety till that moment, and then I start working, and I just gotta go because I just like I know if I ever like take a second and like try and like breathe, do whatever, like I lose my focus. So I just. Like every single essay I've written in my life has been like that. It's just been, I write 2 pages in a row. Like even if it's not like in time, just when I'm writing, it's all at once.
I'm kind of similar, but I find when I do that, I get tunnel visioned in a way. I kind of just like losing the scope of whatever project it is because I get overwhelmed when there's multiple things that are all vastly different that I'm working on. Like I have to write one thing, I have to edit another thing, I have to design another thing, I have to do this, I have to animate this, I have to go buy this, whatever. Like that is what gets me really overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. So I end up getting tunnel visioned, and taking a step back usually helps me out a lot. Like taking a step back and every half an hour or so, just thinking, okay, why am I doing this? What is this working?
Yeah.
I need to take that step back because that actually helps me out a lot more.
That's fair.
So I don't usually have the chance to get that buildup of anxiety. It just hits, right? Usually that's anything in my life. It's been pretty much that way. And that's mostly with even school stuff. And that's partly because of laziness, right? And that procrastination. So the next, this wave just hits, right? So you don't have time to deal with the buildup. It's just there. So what do you power through it? Like that's what I do, is just power through it, right? Kind of do like what Justin does. If, for example, if the kids are in my face, like you need to go away, like just go play in traffic or something for a little bit, and then come back alive. You're fine, right?
Hey, you guys want to try Frogger?
Yeah, but like you said, it's
no in real life.
You're just essentially shifting all these other things to focus on one, and that's like Colin said, it's that tunnel vision at that point to get that one thing done, even though there's a whole bunch of other things happening in the background. Still doesn't matter because that wave that's right there. You got to punch through that first to get to the other waves that are, smaller little ripples right in the water. So,
and it's
I will say.
Oh, sorry. Go for it. Go for it. No,
I was just gonna say.
Please go. Live. Please, it's you. Go.
This is what I loved most about podcasts: is talking over everybody and then realizing that you feel bad. But anywho, for my point, I was gonna say that I actually think that, like after college, like working full time and shit, I actually am a lot more responsible, like getting shit done, like, like being ahead of stuff. Like, and it's like, wow, it's crazy what, being paid to do things will do. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, not that I don't have a ton of work at home right now because I do photography at schools. But like Colin once did. I was just thinking about that. But when you get into it and you got like 10 classes to do in like an hour and you have to get them all done, like it's literally like this tunnel vision of like, hey there, how you doing, can you turn this way, smile, tilt your head, good, perfect, take the picture, and then you're like, all right, you can go. Like it's you just get in that mode where and then as soon as I'm done, it's like this big relief, and then like whoever I'm with, I'm like, let's go, we just killed that shit. But again, that's
little 10-year-old. Yeah, fuck yeah, bro. We crushed that bitch. Fucking fist bump. You want to go smoke a tote in the back real quick?
Gee, okay. Let's not put those things into my world. It still works.
Yeah, literally Randall Roundtree.
But I mean, it's like, it's just, it's always, I've always been like that. But before, it's been more of like a panicked, like, fuck, why did I wait? So now it's like it's more of a focus than it is a panic for me. It's like all right, head down, let's get this done.
Yeah, and that's the one thing with especially full-time work, when you start getting into the working world, you find ways to just essentially get used to that idea of, here's the anxiety, right? Just smacks you right in the face. You're like, okay, whatever, punch through that one next, right? Like I work, all my jobs are scheduled, right? And it could be anything. It could be an install, it could be maintenance, right? So either I've got 1, 2, 6, 8, it just depends on what the day is, right? And the way they like to schedule it is they only give me an hour for 2 hours work, right? So essentially you're doing the same thing. You're saying, okay, here's my job. Here's the problem. I got to get this done in an hour. So, right, you don't have time to think about the anxiety or stuff. You just got to get that task done, right?
Yeah.
Once that's done, you move on. And then that's actually helped me a whole lot, because even stuff like phone calls, I used to hate phone calls when I was working for the cell phone store I used to work for. Hated it, right? Now it's just like, whatever. It's just another part of the day. So if I got to reschedule something and say, sorry, I'm going to be late, whoop, boop, 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 hey, yeah, we're not going to show up. Bye. Yeah. And then that's it, right? It's just over.
Love the sound effects of yourself.
Hey, you like that?
See, and for me, so it's funny. I don't know how to explain this, but it's kind of been a little bit of the reverse for me. Because back in school, as an example, Michelle Hislop's class, editing. It was to the point where I was editing so much at that so fast where I just like, can you just give me like next month's stuff so I could just get this over and done with? She'd give it to me, I'd get that done, and I'd have nothing to do. And now having kids and trying to do the Patreon streaming and working, and I'm gonna talk about work in a fucking hot second here. And being able to try to do all these things now, it is this idea of like I got my hands that used to be able to like clasp very tightly shut and everything can kind of stay together. And now it's just like little holes are coming out, so the sand's sleeping through, and I'm trying to catch as it's fucking falling. And now it is that moment of like I need to realize that I need to rely on people on certain projects or certain ideas, talk to them, get that going, so that I'm not the only one holding like the weight of the world or all this sand in my hands. I can actually have it trickles down, someone else catches it, and then I can go over to the other side, drop it off for someone else. And that's kind of like what happened with the overlays. Right, the overlays for the podcast. I was gonna try to do it myself. I'm like, I don't fucking have time, man. If I want to sleep, work, game, talk to friends, be with my family, and all that jazz, like I don't have time for that anymore. Like I can't just that anxiety would come hit me. And I'm like, no, fuck that. Like I'm gonna fix this right away. And that was the idea of like you need to have a network sometimes of friends or people that you trust. Like I paid one of my schmucks, Ashley Marsix. You should definitely check her out. Ashley, twitch.tv/Ashley Marsix, I think is actually her Twitch. And she made the overlays. And then when she gave it to me, I'm like, cool. Like, and I paid her because I'm not going to ask for someone to do something like that's time being spent. I'm going to pay them. So, and I did. And after a while, I saw her designs and I really liked it. And then there was this one that came up, which was the 4 stack, which I wasn't the biggest fan of. I was like, okay, well, everything else is I really like, but the 4, let's see if we could change it up a little bit. And this happened today. I was at the optometrist. I just saw him like, fuck, man, we don't have a 5-stack camera. I have a 3, I have a 5. The 4 one's not the one that I want. I quickly went, texted my wife. I'm like, hey, can you take... And luckily my wife understands the way that I talk now. Like, I'm very happy. Because if I would have told her this at the beginning, never would have understood what I was talking about. But I'm like, hey, can you just go to the drive, download the 4-stack, and change it so that it's in every corner? Right away. She's like, cool. I'm like, also, can you put the logo in the middle like you guys see here? She's like, all right. She sends me a picture. Do you like this? I'm like, cool, awesome, boom. This way, we can keep the way the idea that Ashley has for us, the way that was set up, and we make sure that it is the camera stack that I like. It's one of those moments where I'm like, and I never like imagine me trying to get home, trying to set this up, also try to get you guys together, try to set up the 4 cam stack, also like in OBS, also then trying to test the footage, make sure it works, then trying to do the also for people who don't know, the intro that I did, I literally finished it 10 minutes before we went live. Like, and that's why the logo in the intro is a little bit like the actual logo itself is blurry as fuck because it's not the right size. Next time, since I have everything saved, I could just go back into it, fix that, and add the nameplates that I want afterwards. Which, Michael, you haven't seen the intro, because you weren't here for it. All right, I'll show it to you after this.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's got a little announcer man. It's got a song with it.
Yeah, nice. It's. Oh, by the way, it is the classic SSN podcast song, the one that we used back in college. Okay. Which was a kind of a pain in the ass because that one is from. I thought it was off of Epidemic Sound. It's not. That shit was from WeStar.
Oh,
yeah. See, these two know what I'm talking about.
WeStar. Oh.
Yeah, and WeStar back in school had the worst fucking free licensed music you can have, except for that one fucking song, and I got it. But I'm like, shit, I don't have that. I tried to go onto the website to log into. I'm like, maybe the old credentials that we had still works, right? So I go to log in, and it's like, oh, your password's incorrect. I'm like, those fucking assholes changed the password. God
how dare they? Like 3 years after we got to school. How dare they?
But get back in my college account.
Those bastards, don't they know who I am? Don't they know what I'm trying to do here?
Sorry.
Oh, man. But luckily enough, and I just found out someone has that. Someone has it through Ryerson, so we're going to talk later stuff. Luckily, though, I did have the 15-second bumper from like way back when saved on the computer, so I was able to use that. And that's why, kids, sometimes wiping your hard drive isn't the best solution. Sometimes you need to hold on to stuff.
Always hold on to everything.
I
have an obnoxious number of hard drives in this room right now, just with old shit that I'm probably never going to use again.
Nice.
Because I'm too paranoid to get rid of it. I can't.
I've seen Colin's hard drives too.
Yeah.
They're huge. Got a lot of them.
Dude, speaking of fucking hard drive in space, this past couple of right before Tracy's birthday, we went to Canada Computers because I need to grab a new wire because I gutted out an old rig, and I mean old rig that had a terabyte HDD drive in there. I'm like, I'm gonna put that in my new computer, so I'll have like 2.5 terabytes of memory. I'm like, it's awesome. I go there and I'm like, hey, just out of curiosity, how much do your M.2 drives cost? I'm just browsing. I'm not saying I'm gonna buy. I just want to look. I just want to see. And sure enough, he's like, oh well, there's a Samsung for $240. I'm like, okay, that's nice. He's like, or I'm like, or? And he's like, or we have this this Western Digital black. I'm like, ooh, I like the colors. Like, yeah, it's nice, right? I'm like, yeah, it's nice. And I'm like, what about it? Tell me more. And he's like, well, this is actually like the exact same as the Samsung one, but you save $40. I'm like, I save money? And he's like, yeah, you do, you dirty bitch. You like that? I'm like, yeah,
I'm gonna say this. Jesus.
This is a disgusting store. What store is it? What's the address? Where is it? Is it open?
Yeah, I need to do some research. We need to cancel. What's this guy's name? What's his digits? But we go, and like, lucky enough, I get it, and I tell the wife, I'm like, look, surprise, I got another
surprise, I bought something.
Yeah, you know? And she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, she knows this was gonna happen. Sorry, someone in chat just like, I need this store near me. Tom. Just could you imagine? Sorry, fuck the rest of my store. Can you imagine if that was a service that you can get walking into an electronics store, like a computer store? It's like, all right, would you like your average Joe package, or do you want the saucy package?
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
They just start getting horny immediately.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you going to give me a better sale? Or like, I don't. If it's a better price, I'm going to take it. But I don't know if I'm comfortable with the way you're talking to me. Well,
because like they're leading it out. They're giving you the idea about what it could be, right? And it's like, oh, tell me more. And then you're like, oh, you want more? It's like, yeah. And he's literally like, across the face. You're like, how about that? You want more of that? But then you don't realize is that that slap has like a coupon for 20% off on your face now.
Oh my God. The most conflicting feelings.
I'm
not awakening anything.
It's so good.
Yeah, right. It's like, how is it sticking to my face? I spat on it. You're like, oh,
dude, your kink is just degradation kinks specifically for better pricing.
Yeah,
like when they combo together like that. That's your thing.
Look, we don't kink shame here at the SSN podcast, right? We'll make fun of you, but we won't kink shame.
Depends on the kink.
Yeah.
Kink shaming is my kink.
God,
oh God. Jesus. So, any of you guys seen the Schneider cut yet?
Yes.
I'm sorry, the what?
Schneider
Cut. Yeah, you guys get to see that 100% all beef Schneider Cut hot dog. Yeah, that shit looks so juicy.
One time, St. John was asking me about the Snyder Cut, and he called it the Schneider Cut. And then I thought about a version of the Justice League where Rob Schneider was more involved for some reason. So now I've just dedicated in my brain that this is the Schneider Cut of the movie.
God.
And Rob Schneider will be there somewhere. But has anyone seen it? Because I haven't.
Rob Schneider in
the
Justice League.
Between the Schneider Cut and Spooderman, I'm gonna make such an ass of myself in the movies because I already said Spooderman.
Yeah,
I said Spooderman going to the movies one time when the lady I was buying a ticket from her, and I looked at her and said, "Oh, hey, can I get one ticket for Spooderman?" And she looked at me like, "Fucking what?"
No. Spooderman. Don't you have that movie? Come on, what's wrong with you?
Spooderman Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming.
So, okay, who has actually seen the Snyder Cut around here?
I got access for it. I have not watched it yet. I made it to the. I made it to the. To preserve the director's vision, this film will be shot in 4:3 format. Nope. And then I'm like, I gotta go to work. I don't have 4 hours to watch this. Like, I gotta go to work.
Why'd you start it?
I was curious. I just want a little
taste it.
Yeah,
he just wanted that little bit about the director and the 4:3 and.
So then later, at work, I'd just be like, "Oh yes, the Schneider Cut."
Imagine watching a movie 3 hours before work and thinking that you'll be done it. Like, not even a chance. So, Colin, I have some questions for you then.
All right, I'll have some answers.
As a professional movie man / comic book nerd man, less comic book, more about superheroes in general. I
haven't really read many comics in my life, but yeah.
Okay, so first question, is it better than the Joss Whedon's Justice League?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Second question, is it a good movie?
Oh, yeah.
You liked it?
I genuinely liked it. I thought it was a very good movie. It was 4 hours long. It was but even though it was 4 hours long, it's well paced. Like, it doesn't feel like 4 hours. Still feels long, but it doesn't feel like 4 hours.
Okay. All right. I've heard a lot of different opinions about it. The general consensus I've heard is that it's actually good, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't trust Rob Schneider with directing a film. So you don't trust Rob Schneider to direct and be every single role in the movie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder, and I want to know your guys' opinion on it. Do you think that what makes the movie more enjoyable is the fact that there was a worse version put out like 4 years ago?
No.
Personally, I think that if they would have released a 4-hour movie, it wouldn't have gotten a good reception. Even if it's like a decent movie, because a lot of people had issue with Batman v Superman being 3 hours long. Imagine if you had to go to the theaters to watch a 4-hour cut of.
Yeah, but it's based on what's in the movie too, right? And how they're doing it. All the cut scenes, like, I mean, the one scene I did see from YouTube and stuff like that, but was Superman beating Batman up or whatever, but instead of slapping him, he uses laser vision, right, to basically zap him, and then Batman, like, that was just such a better scene, and it became longer because of that, right? But it was still, I felt like that should have been the original version, so it was better just in general. Right there, right? So now you take that small bit, you add that to all the movie. So now you're stretching it all out, but you're getting more action, more enjoyable action, right? So now you're more invested in it. So that's like, for me, extended cuts for even like Lord of the Rings or even Star Wars, stuff like that.
It's a big one.
It's that they're all better with that extension, in my opinion, than when they cut it out.
Now you lost me.
Yeah, well,
because
I
want to watch 2.5 hour long movie of someone walking down the street. Now I got to watch it for another 3.5, but this time they go across the street into the meadow. Fuck Lord of the Rings, man. Anyways,
hey,
no, that's not the time nor the place. We'll have a special podcast for that. We will have special podcasts for that.
Complaining about the pacing of Lord of the Rings and saying "fuck Lord of the Rings" are two very different things.
A big jump.
Look, I will say this: I love the look, I love the actors, I love the sound, I love the visuals. I think it's all great. The story is garbage of someone walking forever and ever and ever.
It's not about just walking. It's about the journey and the characters.
Thank you!
The journey
What about you can break down any movie like that and tear it down like that. Like, fucking Die Hard. Oh, it's just a guy in a building. Yeah.
Exactly.
No! It's a man in a building fighting his way out. There's so much more to it already! Versus, I gotta go up a hill and shoot it down a well. The well's
my God.
There's more to that too! What do you mean? It's not like he's like, oh, Ray, oh, fire, oh, Chuck, oh, goodbye. I just had to walk down the street. No, that's not what it was.
No, you're right. Not across the street. I have to walk across town and throw it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, anyways, but with the Schneider Cut. I think
get away from it, Justin.
No, not easily. I just did. Watch, it's my show. With the Schneider Cut, I think it is the idea of Schneider. Yeah, I'm gonna call it that from now on.
Yeah,
that's just gonna kill me every time. Schneider. I just see hot dogs everywhere.
It's one of those things that I think what happened, especially when Joss Whedon, and this is not talking about what Joss Whedon has become now, like the truth about him. I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about his edit of it, because pretty much that's all he really did. He just edited the movie and added a few humorous scenes to what overall was never meant to be.
The Joss Whedon one?
Yeah, the Joss Whedon one. He added humor to it.
What I mean.
Like he took something that was a serious film, and Colin, you can correct me once I'm done with my point to see if because you have watched the film. But from my perception, he took a film that was not meant to have these laughs and goofs and gaffs, and tried to add these moments of like, ha ha ha, it doesn't belong. Versus with the Schneider cut, he is literally, this is his vision. This is what he wanted the entire time. So the scenes will make more sense transitioning from point A to point B. And if there is humor, well, it's Zack Schneider's humor, so it'll match theoretically his film, his vision of what it needs to be.
That's really correct. That's very true.
Yeah.
Snyder is going for more of like a mythological epic feel for superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he talked one time in an interview about how he's not trying to compete with Marvel, and that's why he made the Justice League, the Snyder cut, the way he did, without those moments of kind of forced humor.
Levity.
He understands that Marvel is doing it. He understands Marvel is doing that very well, so he's trying to do something different. So it's had this more grand, like mythological and darker feel to it. So when then Joss Whedon edited and shot whatever he shot and added those kind of cringe jokes, that's what made it feel so out of place.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, I didn't actually realize until the Snyder cut was getting talked about that it wasn't like a studio decision for him to leave. Like he went, like, what, someone in his life like died, and he was going through a lot of shit. So they were he was like, I gotta step apart. And then they're like, okay, we'll bring in Joss Whedon to finish it. Yeah, because
Whedon did wonders for Marvel. He's the man that we need. Them not really realizing Joss Whedon had his flair to Avengers, but it was Kevin Feige who pretty much is like, this is what needs to happen in the film series.
Well, and Joss Whedon also had to step into a movie that was 90% film. Yeah, and then I'm sure was the studios that were telling him, you need to make this more like Marvel when they brought him in. So then, I mean, I think that he didn't make good choices, but I don't think that the whole movie is, Whedon coming in and saying, I'm going to ruin Justice League. But there's kind of been a narrative of that going around just with the comparison to the Snyder cut. But I mean, I don't know. I think that they're two different movies from what I can tell.
Yeah.
So that's kind of when asking the comparison, because if you release a bad version of a movie and then release a better version later, does it make the better one just objectively seem better, or is it just is it just a good movie? That's kind of more what I was asking. But I mean, it seems like it was a good movie. It's well received. So
yeah, but I think you should still have that objective feeling behind it too, right? You just had this version. Yeah. Then you have this original Vision version. Really, is what it is, right? Mm-hmm. And you're comparing the two. You're always going to make those comparisons. It's like any movie, right? You're going to say, well,
that's true.
That's what I liked versus this one. So yeah, this is now the better version for me, right? And I'm sure there's other people that might say the opposite. As crazy as that might sound.
It's a comparison too, right? Just in film, when anyone makes any cyberpunk movie, comparisons get brought up between Blade Runner.
Yeah, exactly.
Blade Runner wasn't the original one, but it had a lot of those tropes and stuff.
It set the bar, right, for everyone to like. Now everyone thinks that.
It's kind of weird because it's literally one movie and then a different version of the same movie being released. So it's like, it's just more of a complete comparison. But also, I heard that like Joss Whedon they only used like 10% of Snyder's footage. Like he shot like a ton of stuff for that film for the 2017 one.
Yeah.
So. And then, also, my only complaint though, 4x3 is not a fucking artistic choice. That's a render saving time.
Okay, so it can't. So I'm not. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. It is a choice. It is an artistic choice because if he shot those things in IMAX format, 4x3 actually fits the screen perfectly for IMAX. So them then taking the footage and if they're going to be like, well, we got to turn this to 16:9. That would stretch the image. That would kind of ruin the way that it looked, the way that it feels in that 4x3 format, which is what Schneider had envisioned. Herr Schneider. So that's the idea that. Don't worry about it. It's this idea of it kind of like when for Logan, right? Logan when what's the director's name again? Goldfull, Mean something, I can't remember. The director for Logan. His vision of the film was meant to be black and white. So that's why when it was released, or the re-release of it, you had the option to view it in black and white. It's the same thing as Ridley Scott when he had his director's definitive, extra, perfect cut of Blade Runner. it took out some of the stuff where like there was like disgusting voiceover by Harrison Ford, who really didn't give a shit about what he was saying. They kind of led more into the idea of like, is he a replicant? Is he not? Like they really played more with the idea of that versus the theatrical or the studio cut of the film. So it does ultimately kind of really makes a big difference about what look, do I prefer the 4x3? No, because on my screen,
that's fair.
On my television screen, which I don't have a tube TV, I don't have an IMAX theater. Like I can't enjoy the film the way that he wants it to be viewed because I don't have those capabilities. So it sucks that it's a 4x3. That being said, I get it and I respect it because there's also the director who did the fucking the mermaid fucker, the mermaid fucker.
Guillermo del Toro?
No, the other one. That's a merman. Merman. The one with young Batman and Green Goblin.
What the fuck?
The guy who did
I am so lost.
The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse. Yeah, the Lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
It stars young Batman, Green Goblin, fucking a mermaid.
Christ, it's so accurate though. That's the Robert Eggers.
Thank you.
God,
Robert Pattinson.
Oh my
that's his guy's
God.
name. Look, am I wrong though, Colin? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. That was an apt description of the movie. Fucking mermaid fucker.
Yep.
Christ.
That movie's fucked up too, man. Like all honesty,
accents in that movie too. I fucking love it.
Oh my God,
I'm tired of your farts.
But it's again, it is fucking accurate because he also did the Vitch or Witch or whatever you want to call it, and that motherfucker took the dialogue. Yeah, the Vitch. If you want to be a prick like
haven't seen that one
here. I can just see the displeasure in its face. But yeah, in the Witch, Vivitch, Spopovich, Jovovich, there's the whole dialect. I can go on. Bitch, I don't know. That's how
there you go.
Yeah. Ultimately goes back to that. But yeah, in that one, the director wanted natural lighting for everything, which he got, and he wanted everyone to speak in like that old English, like North American English accent, that dialect, and he got his actors to do that. He did it again in The Lighthouse. So yeah, I kind of get why, and it's kind of nice that the studios are kind of bending to that now, because before it'd be back in the day, the studios ultimately got their final say, right? Mm. Now directors and writers can kind of have their way now, which is kind of nice.
Just going back to artistic vision and stuff.
Yeah.
Did anybody watch the black and white version of Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah, I did.
Dude.
Fucking awesome. That is like so cool.
Yeah.
Like that's the same movie, but like made look black and white and fucking cool. The black and chrome edition. I love those.
Yeah. Just to be even cooler.
But it's this idea that like, and again, it's George Miller, right? The director?
Yep.
Yes. George Miller. Also, the man who fucking directed Happy Feet 1 and 2, okay? Made these
and Babe,
the Mad
Pig
Max
in the
series, right? Yeah, and Babe Pig.
Babe. Yeah, he did Babe too.
Yeah.
Pig
all right.
in the City.
This man.
He wasn't just the first one.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck off!
Seriously? I think he did both. But anyways, had such foresight for Mad Max that he lit everything up perfectly so that when he does his black and chrome edition, it still looks visually amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like,
well, I mean,
you 10 years ago, you wouldn't even get that. 20 years ago, could you imagine what certain films could have looked like if the directors or the creative director behind it got to do what he wanted? There's just a lot of films out there that would probably look vastly different. Like imagine if Sam Raimi, had full reins on Spider-Man. Like what he did to like Spooderman, the Spooderman.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, Harvey Spooderman, attorney at law.
There's probably a technological aspect of that too, because re-editing movies is a lot easier now than it used to be. Because it used to, everything was edited literally like
with
films,
like
with the reels,
cut it and tape it and reel it and everything. But now it's just like, load up Premiere, put this thing there, and
there we go.
It's a lot easier.
Schneider's Justice League.
Dude, I want if Zach was listening, that'd be perfect. Or if I want one of the schmucks in chat right now, I want them to make a Justice League Schneider Cut. Okay, and what I want is the Justice League logo to be replaced with the Snyder logo, and I want someone, I don't care who it is, I want one of the members to be dressed up like it's a hot dog with like a Batman mask, or a hot dog with the S on, or something.
There you go.
You're picking the wrong Schneider for this. It should be Rob Schneider.
I was thinking like
this role.
I was thinking we gotta learn how to deep fake and just put Rob Schneider over every single character. Rob Schneider Batman, Rob Schneider Superman, Rob Schneider
Rob
Wonder
Schneider
Woman,
Superman
everyone.
kissing Rob Schneider Lois Lane. Oh my god.
Okay, speaking of kissing and Lois Lane and the soups, have you guys watched the show Superman and Lois?
The CW show?
I have not.
So
I have not,
dude.
I heard it's good though.
Okay, I was gonna say, so visually, it is the most drastically different looking like CW superhero movie show I've ever seen. It literally looks like it belongs on, like it's a film. The color grading, the frames that they're using.
So they have a budget.
So I think that's what's happening. Well, it's true. Because, like, when Supergirl was on NBC, right? I think it was on NBC before I switched over to CW. They had a budget, and they could do so much, and it looked great. And then when they went to CW, they kind of got more of that Arrow Flash budget, which it's still good, but it could be better. But fucking Superman and Lois, it's unreal, man. Like, it literally looks like it's a fucking film. And the acting is so fucking good. And it's this interesting dynamic of the kids didn't know that their dad was Superman, and this also plays off their version of the Flashpoint storyline, because back in the original story before the Flashpoint, Lois and Clark had like I think a baby girl or one kid, and then after the Flashpoint they have 2 teenage boys, and like it's so much dynamic that they're playing with it, and it just look at the trailer alone, and I am so hyped for that fucking show. All right, and it's at the same level of like WandaVision for me or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And the biggest difference is we get 24 episodes of those versus WandaVision and I think Falcon and Winter Soldier's only
6.
What? Yeah, it's only 6 episodes, and 2 of them are already done.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier's only 6, and the director said the craziest one was the 5th one. So.
Okay. All right. So
that's all I know.
This is the perfect transition. Okay. So we're gonna talk about Winter Soldier, and then we're gonna talk about some WandaVision. Okay. But what have been your thoughts about the first 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I only seen the first one.
Okay. That's fine.
I love the idea of you take superheroes and say, okay, realistically, where they're not fighting the end of the world situation, one of them's got PTSD and the other one has like financial trouble and faces racism on the average day. Yeah. It's this very real depiction. All of the characters are interesting. I fucking love Bucky's storyline of like this, like, you know, like he feels so awful for everything he did, and he's trying to make amends, but literally everyone's like, no, fuck you, you murdered everyone in my life. And he's just like, I didn't mean to though. Like he's like, I'm sorry.
It wasn't my fault. All right, don't worry, we're not gonna spoil anything. We're not gonna spoil anything in the shows. We're just gonna talk like vaguely around it. And Liv kind of brought up a good point of the first episode. I'm sorry, at this point, fuck you, spoiler alert for at least the first episode. It is this idea of what they're kind of playing with. It's not just the idea of like, oh, Anthony Mackie, Falcon. What's the guy's actual name in the show though?
Sam Wilson.
Sam, yeah. So Sam is sitting the idea of like, it's not just the idea of like, is the world ready for another? No, Michael, we're not. No spoilers. Jesus Christ!
No, I'm not spoiling anything. I'm trying to protect against the spoiling.
All right.
In the Vegas terms, explain everything that happened.
No, but it's this idea. It's just the idea of again, episode 1. This is episode 1 of not just ready. Was the world ready for another Captain America? Is the world ready for a black Captain America?
Yeah, they are exploring that a lot,
and they started that.
It comes up a lot more in the second episode, but it's still like a really like I thought Marvel was going to be like too scared to actually venture into talking about this, and I'm really happy that they actually are addressing. They're like, they're kind of just talking about what it means to be a black superhero. Okay, I'm gonna say one spoiler. It's not a huge one for the second episode, but at one point, Bucky and Sam are talking on the street and kind of arguing, and then police show up and are like asking Bucky if this man's bothering him. Yeah. And then Bucky's like, "Do you know who this is?" And then like one of the cops is like, "He's an Avenger," and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Like that's what makes it okay, just because he's a fucking super. Yeah, it's this brilliant idea. And again, we're not gonna go into serious spoiler talk because the episode 2 is still fresh. It literally came out Friday. I understand.
It's really good though. Go watch it.
Yeah. But there is one thing. Some of the action, my wife and I laughed at. Tracy and I laughed at because it looked terrible. Specifically, there's this moment where there's a helicopter that whizzes by the camera, and like it literally looks like a PlayStation 3 cutscene. We're like,
oh god,
yeah, like the animation of the propellers. I'm like, is that like 12 frames per second? Like, what are they do these choices where like they cut frames on things that go by the screen fast, thinking people won't notice, and it's like, oh, dude, that looks fucking horrendous. It's also you can't fuck you, Hunter. You can't unsub, so your money's mine. It's also technically your money belongs to SSN now. All your monies belong to us. It's also the idea of Tracy pointed this out because she's in photography, so she really notices these things. She's like, those mountains shouldn't be that crisp if they're focusing on the people right in front. Why isn't this blurred? Why with this lighting doesn't make any sense? It's like they're on a green screen. She's like, it's not acceptable. Like, she's like, this shouldn't be like
mountain,
this.
Tracy.
Oh my god! It fucking made me. I'm like, all right, babe, fucking pop off.
Yeah, at least from the first episode, I didn't notice. I didn't notice anything going wrong.
There's a big stunt in the second episode. There's like a big thing going on. Yeah. Also, second episode, we get to meet the new Captain America guy, and I understand everyone's hatred of him. I think he's going to be an awesome character. Yeah. I love all the choices they made for him. He seems actually interesting, not just plain white bread, which I was scared they were going to do. So I'm really excited about what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I wasn't a huge WandaVision fan, not for any specific reason. I didn't feel like I liked I liked it. I liked what it put out, but I wasn't like it wasn't like an excitable thing for me. By where the end, I was excited about everything. And it was part of because everybody was expecting so much more than actually came.
All right, we're talking about this then. Fault, we're talking about this right now. Okay, so WandaVision, so it's both. So these three things that Marvel is doing really well, Disney, whatever you want to call them, with their shows, where they're like you said, they're touching on subjects they can't really touch on the main films because like, oh, that's too racy, that's too hot for kids, but we'll throw it on our TV version of like the racism, the issue of being a black superhero in America, this PTSD and how to deal with it in real life, like how to deal with those demons that are constantly haunting you. And then in WandaVision, her way of dealing with grief, that concept, and like this is all props to fucking Elizabeth Olsen. She like when she hurts, I feel it so much. We're like, you could tell, like, especially in the episode, and this was an excellent swerve for this part of the episode, where they made it look like at the beginning that Wanda took Vision's body and brought it to the Westview, and she brought him back to life. That's not the case at all. It was this complete like, oh no, the camera's cut off, so that you were led to believe that. That's not what happened, because also that Admiral dude was a piece of shit and lied.
Oh, Hayward.
Hayward.
Did everybody just from the beginning think he was the bad guy as soon as he showed up?
Yes. A lot of rumors were saying that he was going to be Mephisto or whatever.
Or Ultron. That was the other one.
Yeah.
People thought I never heard that one. That would have been interesting.
So Ultron does take a synthetic form in the comics to try and fuck with people.
Yeah.
So there was a chance it was.
He tries to fuck people?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so he's
this fruit of a joke.
He's this dude at Canada Computers where if you talk to him the right way, he'll spit on a coupon and slap you across the face.
Exactly. Larson was just talking to him. You gotta go back to that store.
Look, I didn't want to out him.
Where?
Yeah. Like he's still learning. He's still training. I didn't want to out him this soon. All right. But anyways, in WandaVision, it's this awesome idea of like grief and how she's dealing with it, and her only way to deal with it was to like avoid the subject for so long. And like she literally created Vision from her memories because of her connection with the Mind Stone.
Yeah, it was her part of the Mind Stone.
Yeah,
it was.
So like it's this bananas fucking thing that was awesome. The two things that I didn't like in the series, and they're very simple. I hate the fact that they teased fucking Quicksilver from the Fox. Yeah, and also that boner name is from an old TV show, like Growing Pains. It was like a kid's name in that show, so that was like there's a little nod to them. But also, like your name's Boner, like that sucks. But yeah, the fact that they had him come in, all right, Peter Evans, I think, or Evan Peters. It's one of the two.
Evan Peters.
Yeah,
Peter Evans.
I don't know. Yeah,
Evan
so
Evans.
Evan Peters, literally playing the same character as he would have in the Foxverse. And like it's like, oh my god, this is how they can bring mutants. This is perfect. Because also when they do the Photon Lady, because I think that's whatever her name is,
Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau.
Photon Lady.
Well, no, that's like her superhero name or something. It's like Photon or whatever. But like the idea that they literally were telling her, you are, every time you step through the wall, it is manipulating, it is changing your genetic code. I'm like, there's your mutants. There's your fucking intro to mutants. It's perfect. And then like, oh, and you're also going to bring Quicksilver into this universe? Oh my god, the possibilities are fucking endless with this. Especially when you have Wanda, who they haven't touched it yet, but who can literally leap between dimensions, between the universes. Yeah, of course she could, in a moment of pain and misery, pull Quicksilver from one universe to another and implant her memories of Pietro into him. Like, this makes perfect sense. Yeah. But no! It's a stupid necklace around the dude's neck. And that's how he's Quicksilver. Like, fuck!
It's a boner joke.
Oh, to make a boner joke. And then, when fucking the writers and everyone in the show is like, oh, dude, you can't wait. You just wait until you see how this connects to the fucking Doctor Strange movie. It'll blow your fucking mind. Everyone's like, oh, Doctor Strange.
Did they actually say that?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Because then Benedict Cumberbatch had to apologize about his lack of appearance in the show.
I'm sorry I wasn't there. I didn't know I was supposed to.
Pretty much. I guess the initial idea was before COVID I'd really blasted off. They were going to shoot some scenes with him in for the show. But they're like, nah, let's just show them the book. The book's all they need. Fuck those nerds. That's all they care about is the book. And that's what they fucking gave us.
Yeah, I agree with you on like the Quicksilver thing being kind of lame. But for me, I feel like it was all of us. Everybody had so many theories about what it was going to be, all this stuff. Yeah. And then the writers had to say, you guys are going to be disappointed about the last episode. Like, it's nothing's, Mephisto's not showing up. Like, we just wanted to tell a story about Wanda. And, you know, at least Agatha Harkness is in it. Like,
yes, that's cool. Again,
White Vision was cool.
Also, fucking Wanda pretty much turning into a bad guy at the end. When she's like, Agatha's like, you're gonna need me. She's like, yeah, and I'll know where to find you, and just turns her back into that Agnes character. And I'm like, dude, that is not a superhero move right there. That is like cold-hearted, fucking like villain.
Just grabs
shit.
Like the Necronomicon or whatever.
Yeah, and just flies off with it. And fucking Rambo was like, yeah, dog, don't worry about it. You can have that. It's like, are you nuts? Like the most violent thing you could have given her, like unlimited power. You just gave it to what was referred to, a woman who's referred to as a Scarlet Witch, the most powerful magical being in the world, comparable, if not stronger, than the Sorcerer Supreme. And you gave them the book of steroids for her. And you're cool with that? Now, mind you, I'm sure
can she do portals?
Yeah.
Can she do this?
Can she wax on and wax off? No. No, but what she can do is this, right? She could do this and like then make a portal.
Have you seen the memes about her mom walk?
No.
Do you know what when Monica like shows up and is like you're being controlled by like Hayward Strat, all this stuff. She's like, get out of my house, and she's wearing like her red hoodie and the sweatpants, and then she's holding her thing. And she goes, get out of my house. So then everybody's like just making jokes about it. It's so funny, just out of context. Her having her little red orb and like, you need to leave.
It's kind of the same thing, right? With when like Jurassic World, when people were making fun of the Chris Pratt, like him standing like this and like trying to stop the raptors from coming at him, and like everyone like in the zoos were making fun of him doing those memes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love the behind the scenes shot of just all of the people in like the mocap suits, and he's like, stay away, mocap people.
Oh my god.
I mean, overall consensus, WandaVision wasn't bad. I liked it, but I mean,
what do you mean overall consensus? No, this is your consensus.
Not for me. For my overall consensus, I know. Overall consensus of all of us is that it sucks.
And they should feel bad, and they should fire Elizabeth Olsen and fucking Paul Bettany or whatever, and replace him with Rob Schneider.
Part of it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
She was amazing. She actually, like, that ending scene. Oh wait, sorry, just completely off topic.
Yeah.
Again. Have you guys seen the Vashon memes?
No.
Yeah, I've seen them.
It's Vision in the turtleneck, and people edited on like a chain in like a do rag, and it was like he's doing the pose, and they just like do stupid memes and shit with it. I love it. It was just a really funny fucking end to like, you know, shit to go with the end. But I mean, I don't know. What did you guys think?
Like how much people like like Elizabeth Olsen, and it really shows like there's a difference in the mediums, like between seeing her in all the movies, but then when she gets a whole series, what is it, 8 or 9 episodes?
Yeah.
You know,
it's like
they get a lot more time to develop her character, and there's a lot more time for her to show off her really amazing acting skills, and really, you just get a lot more time to fall for the charter. Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, dude, Paul Bettany too. I love Paul Bettany. He's so smooth.
The moment when he's fighting with WandaVision, he's like, "What am I?" Like freaking out, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this shit's tense." And like, she tries to roll the credits and stuff, and like, she's like, "This is done," and he's like, it literally like. It really felt like a couple fighting. He's like, "No, this is like, get back here. We're not done." And just continues walking into the room. I'm like, oh my god, dude! Like, this is like mom and dad are fighting. Like, you felt that. Like, it really did feel like that.
Mommy, what? Scarlet Witch and Daddy Vision are fighting.
Vision Daddy, no.
Daddy,
are you okay? Division? Were you trying to say Daddy Vision? Division?
Oh god.
But yeah,
it's a good start for like all of the Disney Plus like Marvel shows.
And it's funny though. It's funny to think that wasn't even supposed to be the first show that they were going to launch with. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then it was either that followed by WandaVision or Loki, but they swapped WandaVision to go first. And yeah, like to me, that is so far. I think WandaVision was. Again, it's hard to say because I haven't watched the rest of the series. But as it stands right now, I think WandaVision is better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
We only have the first episode or two to judge from. At least in the first episode, I thought Falcon and the Winter Soldier was a little bit boring. Just for the first episode.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really much. There was character development and stuff, but it was still just more. I feel like not much happened.
Yeah.
In the first episode.
Oh yeah, because the boys didn't even get together yet.
Yeah.
Where are my boys? I need them together, hugging and stuff.
Yeah.
Hugging.
Okay, no, I actually can't say because it's spoilers. So I won't. Yeah, I won't mention it.
They hug in the second episode.
No.
It's a really
No. There's stuff that I want.
Watch it now.
There's stuff that I want to talk about. But we'll have to wait for it for next time that we can maybe bring it up more information about it. But yeah, get ready for the podcast because that is a weekly release. Schmucks, get ready for probably us talking about more of that. But if you kind of want that to be a specific separate thing, where we have like a reaction episode. Or like just something completely separate from the SSN, it's just us talking about it. Yeah, fucking Schmucks React. Again, once the Patreon page is up and live, just go to patreon.com/SelectStarNetwork. That's going to be one of our sub goals, is going to be us, once we reach enough subs, we'll launch a different show. And it's probably going to be a movie review / reaction talk show. And different format, different rules. It'll be a good time. Different hosts and stuff. I'm the only. There's only two boomers here. All right, Hunter. We got two Zoomers and two boomers.
Ooh.
Hey, I'm on the border between Zoomer and Millennial. All right, I'm on that border.
I'm a straight
not
Zoomer.
Lip, yeah.
Straight Zoomer, baby.
Yeah.
I've been to Broadway, didn't you know?
Yeah.
God. But yeah,
I had to trust my stupid painting.
Yeah, all right. But we're gonna wrap up the first half, not the first half, but the actual podcast. I'm gonna end this just letting you guys know a couple things. We will end up by having this entire month of April. We're gonna be giving away, as weird as it sounds, but like SSN live and the post show free of charge. It's kind of us kind of advertising, hey, this is what we do, this is what we offer. But then after April, we will then be locking down the post show to be Patreon exclusives. So if you're interested in that, again, patreon.com/SelectStar Network, go ahead and support. You go to the tier that'll give you that access, which I'm trying to see if I can pull that up real quick, but Patreon is not the most UI friendly system. So I'm trying to see if I can view the page, and I'll let you know in just a second. Of course not. Of course it's gonna be a fucking big old pooper. Hold on, see if,
of course.
All right, you guys vent while I try to get this going.
Has anyone seen the Suicide Squad trailer?
Oh, I have. I'm excited. It looks funny.
Yeah,
Actually,
it looks real funny.
It made me genuinely laugh, I think once or twice in the trailer. And that's not easy. But I don't know. It looks good. James Gunn's funny, and I mean, my personal feeling is that half those characters are gonna die during the movie.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be a lot of characters.
We all love Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson's character's dead. I'm sorry, he's not making it there.
I hope the Pokemon, the Polka Dot Man,
the Pokemon Man.
Yeah, Ash Ketchum is in the Suicide Squad now.
He's got to catch me.
I hope that Polka Dot Man dies some hilarious way. I'm looking forward to it.
I like that it looks like it's going to be less about like we're a serious badass team. It's going to be more like we're a team of fuck ups who all hate each other, and we're barely going to do this mission. Oh, and also excited for King Shark. King Shark looks absolutely stupid, and James Gunn's going to make the funniest, dumbest version of King Shark.
And I love the fact that it's voiced by Sylvester Stallone too.
Yes. What is it, King Shark? Hand. Yeah. Okay, all right. Yes. So just to let you guys know. So I wanted to get the details because I found a workaround for it, and it is at the so at the $15 mark, Canadian. I don't know what it is, US. I'm sorry because they only give me the Canadian pricing. That's when you get to watch us ad free for the audio and video when it gets posted. You also get the exclusive post show, which you guys will get a taste of it now. And you get to watch the SSN podcast live as it happens. So at the $15 mark, that's what you get, plus a bunch of other perks. I'm not going to go over all of them because, my God, there's so much stuff that we're offering for you. But you'll be able to get to see that once it gets approved. But for now, for those who are going to be leaving, thanks for joining us for the SSN podcast. If you want to stick around for the post show, like I said, you will be getting it free until the end of April. But for now, thanks for joining. We love y'all, and we will catch you guys later. So stick around for the post show. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Boom. And now it's the post show.
Wow.
Just like that. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy how that works.
Like, no.
Yeah.
I didn't even have time to change, Larshay. Yeah. Come on.
Oh yeah, you know what, Michael? Hold on. Let's get our first live react. Michael, I'll show you the intro. The intro for the podcast. You gotta hold on. I gotta set it up.
What am I holding on to? I don't have anything to hold on to.
Hold on your nuts.
Oh.
All right, hold on.
Is that you holding onto your nuts?
Yeah,
obviously.
All right. All right, Michael. Do you see the screen?
Oh. Yeah, except I'm cutting half on the actual stream. Cool.
Don't worry about that. It doesn't matter right now.
Cutting into my screen.
Oh my God.
Jank.
Everyone's favorite brunette.
There's our first live react right there.
Nice. It's pretty decent.
Do you want to like show clips and stuff for the post show, or what are we doing?
So right now we're just kind of talking. This would be the time also if like the audience, like the schmucks had a question, they could go and ask kind of thing. This is kind of like the idea of like we're still kind of talking about everything. But yeah, like this is if someone had a question, they can go and ask. Like, it doesn't even have to be like, oh, what did you guys think about the episode ever? It could be like, they could be like, oh, if you have to choose between dicks or butts, what do you choose? And then we go and
dicks
like,
or butts.
Yeah, just as an example.
Or for what? Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter for dicks or butts, right?
There's a lot of differences there.
Yeah, no, I know, but like
one's round, one's hard. Is
all right,
butts can be hard too.
Okay,
I'm not allowed to pick both.
That's true. Yeah, I guess.
All right, Hunter, so here's what happens,
soft.
right? So this becomes the dicks or butt conversation right here, Hunter. Right, actually, I have a thing for this is an oldie but a goodie, all right? 2 of these members will know what I'm talking about, but they're going to have to deal with it. This got brought up on an episode of the SSN podcast when we had guest star Clarissa from Clarissa's Life, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, no.
And we need to see if some of our opinions have changed. Okay? Because it might have changed.
God.
Michael, you get to be a part of this, okay?
Woohoo!
I wasn't on this episode.
Yeah.
I'm fucking glad.
All right. So, I believe there's a monetary value for it. So we'll say for $1 million, okay? For $1 million, would you swap where your semen comes out and where your snot comes out? So that means that semen would spray from your nose or mouth, because that's what happens when you have like loogies and shit, and you would ejaculate snot, okay? Would you do that for $1 million?
Is this a one-time $1 million, or is it every time I do this action? Or
it's
the
a
guy
one-time.
goes
You know
out
what?
to
Let's increase
It's
the limit.
one time.
Let's just say it's $5 million. Boom, you get the operation done. Would you do it?
yeah.
Thank
Hands
you.
down.
Thank you.
It's just a liquid. It doesn't matter which end. I mean, it might smell a little salty instead of, but whatever. That's a different story. But I mean, it's I just came instead of,
But now think about this. This is the counterpoint, though. It's amazing.
For $5 million, I'd do anything at that rate. Jeepers.
All right, Michael, see me after class.
Ah.
But no, it's the idea though. Also, but think about it. That means when you're jerking off, you're just gonna shoot snot balls out of your dick. Think about that. Also, this implies.
Yeah. Okay.
And this also implies for the female anatomy, which kind of sucks because we don't have female.
Oh, I love when 4 white guys talk about the female anatomy.
Which was the joke for Clarissa, for people who don't know, would be that it would also switch. So, because it's like your sexual organs maneuver. It's not just that snot comes out where the pussy is.
Oh, so you're saying
like if
once
you ever
a month there's blood?
Yeah, once a month.
Oh, I see. Okay, well. That might change if I was a woman, then. Yeah,
that's what I'm kind of curious about,
ballgame.
right? All right, but anyways, we don't have anyone to talk about that yet. Maybe next week we can get a guest with us, and we can talk about that.
I vote we don't bring a girl onto the show.
Hey, maybe I'll get Clarissa back on.
Maybe we should skip that one.
No, I think that's what we need. But yeah,
I'm still no. I'm sorry. I'm still no on this.
You're nuts.
You're
fucking nuts. For $5 million,
so,
I upped it to an additional $4 million, and you don't want to just have a little, you're jogging, you're working hard, you start sweating, you got something to get a little bit of that goop that comes out of your nose. Who cares if it's semen? You get $5 million, bro.
Sorry.
Okay. Have you
the rest of your life, man?
$5 million.
Have you never had boogers that like harden and they get
I know.
Just that
I have.
Hard.
So you would have to take like a Q-tip, right?
Is
You
it
have to
hard
clean
cover?
around
Is
the
it
edges.
But they're two different liquids altogether. They have two different properties that happen in certain circumstances, right? So really, it would probably be easier to get the hard come out your nose with water versus.
So you're saying it would be better
snot.
to have cum in your nose compared.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Look,
Okay.
right.
Steph, first of all, hold on. Steph, this is I'll talk to the audience. First of all, it doesn't matter. Race has nothing to do about this, and I only brought it up once because that's a subject I got brought up with Clarissa. We're not touching
I'm
about
the
if
one
it's
that
better
said
or
white
worse for
dudes
women.
first.
This is about the men right now, okay? The men's with their penises and the semens, okay? That's what's happening. I will bring on as a guest. I will bring on as a special guest next week, and we can have your input, which is going to be perfect. All right? But race has nothing to do with it right now. It's just 4 dudes with dicks swapping around the semen and snot. Good point with the crusties, because crusty snot down there, you would have to take a moist Q-tip, and you'd have to like insert and kind of like.
No, but you gotta remember, it's gonna be warmer all the time down there, so it's always gonna be that.
Wait, why is it always warmer? What are you doing down there?
What do you mean? It's close to the body. It's also more center, and it's not way up here. It's not exposed. It's usually under something.
That's not drips. So it's also when you catch a cold, when you sneeze, you're also gonna like sneeze at your dick. You know that, right?
Yeah, but again, you're wearing underwear, right? It's all gonna get there.
Just cover your dick and cover your underwear and snot. It's fine.
Here's my clarification question: does piss come out your nose too because of that?
No.
This is just a sexual aspect.
Yeah,
okay.
piss comes out the butt now.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, that was next week's topic, but I guess we won't talk about it now, Lib.
If you're sneezing at your dick, I'm just imagining going to the store. You buy a big fucking box of condoms. Person looks like the cashier gives you that look, and you're like, "Oh no, I have a cold."
Yeah. But that it would look like, right, that you're just gobbling dicks left and right all day if you have a cold, because you're just covered in, your nose and your lips are just covered in cum all the fucking time. Like, would you want to go out that day risking it, or would you just have like constantly toilet paper shoved up your nostrils? You're like, oh, do you have a nosebleed? Yeah, it's nosebleed.
Yeah,
it's a bleeding something.
So that's the thing. It's also the idea of like when you sneeze, you're sneezing out your dick, and when you're coming out your nose or mouth, technically. So that means you're tasting your own cum. All right, keep that in mind.
Yeah. Okay. This is. I'm not doing it. It's so weird.
For $5 million.
I don't care. The rest of your life.
Million.
Yeah, but again, with that $5 million, you can keep making money.
You can invest
it's a worthwhile investment, right?
You can invest it in a non-cum tasting serum, so then you won't care.
Get used to the taste. It's just salty. That's all it is, right?
Or it could be sweet if you're eating a lot of pineapple.
I guess so. There you go. Just eat a lot of good things.
Big brains over here. Big brains with $5 million. Money now, please. Oh my god.
It's just so disgusting.
All right, that's what I wanted. Also, what do you guys want to see more out of the podcast? I'm talking about you three. Do you like the format? Do you like what we're doing right now?
Talk.
No, this is post show. That's post show talk. That's post show talk. Anything goes, baby. What I'm talking about for the podcast.
I like the format, and I like being able to relax and chill and have a list of things we can maybe talk about. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind if people wanted to like. If we want post show wanted to be a little like more casual, like we want to talk about videos or something, like bring them up and show them, like just different atmosphere between the both. One's a little bit more poignant talking points, the other one's a little bit more like whatever. Have you seen this? Bring it up, anything like that. Like,
so you're saying like post show, we would actually show content that
or if like anyone from the stream wanted us to like, if anybody did anything, they're like, we want to show anything off, like I don't know.
Okay, I get that. Okay, Michael?
Oh, I like the format. I mean, I agree there needs to be somewhat of a difference though between them for sure, right? And I think that showing content would be a good time here now, right? Get that little sneak peek, especially if you're going to have people that are subscribing to it, pretty much. Give them something.
That's the idea of where like the question and answers will come in from chat. We'd be responding to that. If there's a certain like a quick topic, like an example, Pimp in the Discord brought this up. Pimp of Games brought up as an example where we're talking once. It'd be like top 10 cereals. Go. That might not be. Well, so like that's the idea, right? That might not be an SSN main topic that we could talk about on the podcast, but for the post show, we just have our top 10 and we just kind of discuss like that's garbage. Oh, what just something super chill and simple. We don't have to.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Have the show be a little more structured, a little more serious in a lot of ways, right? Still keep it casual, right? But have this where it was exactly what we did, right? We went and talked about come through nose or snot through dick, right? That kind of stuff is a lot.
Not do that though.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's a lot less. It's a lot less of an actual topic, right? And more just laugh, goof around, and be us a little more, right?
And now we
trash cans.
Yeah. Chat's just losing their mind now. But it would be this idea. We did that before at college, and it was fine. I enjoyed it, but I think us to really get people to understand who we really are, like the us that is us, like us. That's all I can say is us. Is what we did today. I think what we did today, in my mind, is probably the best version of the podcast we have ever done.
Oh yeah, I think that's what we were saying. Like that, so it's still a little bit of structure though. We were kind of taking points and talking, and now it's just kind of, this would just be more an area of like a little bit less like, we were kind of jumping from points, and even though we were jumping a lot, like it was like we were talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then we went and talked. Now it's just more or less shooting the shit, talking to chat.
Yeah, and that's and that's the thing. Also with the post show, there's no time limit. Like this could literally go from like 10 minutes to another hour. I'm not saying it's going to, but like that's like there's no cap for the post show, at least not at the moment. But I think for the podcast itself, I think an hour and 20 is kind of a good mark for us, because that way we don't have to worry about things being stretched out. We can then continue with our lives after the post show, and I think it kind of works out, and we can still talk to chat and have a good time. Also for chat, just so you know, the post show comments and all that stuff, that would only happen on this is where things get complicated. So when we do these lives from now on, it's not going to be on the Twitch channel. It's going to be on YouTube as a unlisted link that we post on Patreon. The patrons then go click on it. They'll watch the podcast live. They can talk about whatever they want to. Like we talk about whatever we want, and we then do our post show, all attached together, and then just some small editing on our end when we post it on YouTube as an edited version where there is no post show.
Exactly.
But we will, I think, I was thinking maybe once a month down the road, or like once every little while, we'll have like a free week, you know what I mean? Where some of the content that's usually behind the wall, we'll push it live for everyone to see. To then be like, hey, like if you're interested in, like, you've seen all of this for so long, take a look at all the other shit that we have to offer, and go from there.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it for sure. I mean, you keep people interested that may not be, Patreoning it to get into that Patreon, right?
Yeah. Also, on a side note, I just want to say this real quick, Lep. Count Chocula versus Cocoa Krispies. We don't have Count Chocula in Canada. Only on the special times do we ever get that. I don't think we have Cocoa Krispies, to be honest.
Do they got Nesquik in America?
Yeah, they must have. That must be that's got to be a North American thing, Nesquik.
Nesquik is dope. We can admit that, right? Nesquik's a dope cereal.
Oh, then cereal. You know what?
Cereal. The actual chocolate milk mix, like whatever. But
I just took off. My mic arm. In all honesty, if you're gonna make me choose, I would say no to that. I would say I would rather get Reese's Puffs. Reese's Puffs cereal is superior chocolate cereal, bar none.
I agree with you on that.
I've never actually liked any chocolate cereal.
Oh, you gotta try Reese's Puffs. It is fucking amazing.
I've never been a fan of the idea of like waking up and stuffing my face with chocolate.
Right? Here's my
That's
thing.
the point.
But hold on. Then you wouldn't have like a hot chocolate in the morning?
Oh, I usually don't have hot chocolate in the morning.
Really, no. It's coffee or tea.
You're okay. You're fine then. You're fine now. But yeah, anyways, guys, this is kind of the idea of what you can see on the post show. We're going to cut it here.
Reese's Puffs.
Yeah, fuck's sake. Thanks for joining. We love y'all. We're going to catch you next week. But don't stop being you, okay? Love you, schmucks. Bye.
Aw. Such a nice end.
Right?